Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Data Anomaly Hunter's Scar, Season 2, Episode 15, Enemy of My Enemy. This is one of our Digimon tabletop RPG campaigns being run with our custom Scar system, or stories and creatures in alternate realities. This system is available for open playtest on our Discord as well as itch.io, so go take a look at it and let us know what you think. For now, though,
The turnip market's making a killing today.
I will handle that in a moment, Raijin. For now, though, we'll start with introductions, beginning with Zerda.
Hello, I'm Zoda the Fox, and I am running the game. And I might have to steal 2 souls today if people don't show up. On to you, Folger.
Hey, I'm Gimund, and I'm playing Fulgur, the brother of Arcus who is trapped in Arcus's body. They are a electric basic Charismon. On to the Asher.
I am Razim, and I am playing as Asher, the Astral Light type Labramon. God of Death, Lord of Evil, all that wonderful, terrible things. Off to the minion.
Hello, y'all. I'm IDDoThings, or Ido if you prefer, and I'll be playing Haboku, who'll be Lucamon, and fire or necrotic egg type, and a undead member of the party, a minion of Asher, and all that jazz. The Jace is currently absent, so onto the Kotora.
Hello, everybody. I'm Raharu, and I'll be playing Kotora, the mythic fire type Gabumon, and suddenly saw a beam of light just suddenly fall from the heavens in front of him. Unto you, Riv, Tal.
Hello, I'm Taldirus, and I'll be playing Riv, the mythic water type Vorvamon. Vorvapediogober.
A generous bestowal.
Gimund _ tipped $10. Ooh bees, this will become an unbelievable memory.
Thank you for that tip, Geeman. That is the first tier of the tip goal completed. Alright, for the recap, we'll go and turn it over to Raharu.
Ooh, okay.
Where's the summary there? I did make a summary this time.
Okay, if I remember correctly, we just we were finishing up the aftermath of our little encounter with Grooves, who was posing as Greaves,
A
and
generous bestowal.
IDDoThings tipped $15. Razim coins.
Thank you so much for that tip, Ido. That is the second tier of the tip goal completed. Well, Raijin, you got the highest roll so far.
me. Can I continue?
Go ahead.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Okay, we were finishing up a little aftermath of our encounter with Grooves, and after being unfrozen, Asher went to basically pack his own things up. Fulgur went deep into the forest and apparently began ranting to himself, and you were shooting some sort of attack towards the trees. What was it?
I think it was a
you meant-
line ice move.
Yeah.
Yee.
So Ice Beam. Yeah, and eyes been towards the tree as he's trying to vent frustration. Basically being frustrated at what Asher almost did to the Palmos and Woodsmont. And Haboku was kind of the only one that noticed and went ahead to try and look for Fogger. After a bit of a rant from Fogger of his complaining and venting, Haboku approached him and Fogger froze. And then the forest came alive and vines began to approach the duo. And after that, it kind of Haboku screamed Jace's name to try and get some help to help out Fogger. And Jace heard it, and then Kotora and Rib went in behind him. Asher stayed behind. In the interim between Jace showing up to the scene, apparently Haboku and Fogger were kind of trapped in some sort of dirt that was acting like a bit of quicksand or quick mud. It wasn't actually like keeping them under, but it was heavy and it was making them hard to actually move out. Kotora ended up arriving to the location while Jace dealt with the approaching vines, plants, whatever they were, and use his pelt as a bit of a tug to try and get Haboku out without getting into the mud himself, and managed to do so. And Rib ended up helping Jace with the plants. Eventually, we all returned to the camp and basically decided that we needed to immediately needed to go. And I think Asher may have left by that point. I think he left towards where basically towards where our
Objective.
objective is supposed to be. So we did a quick discussion of what to do, and Jace decided to go after Asher while we took the Woodsman and Palmos towards the spring that they told us about. But the parties separated briefly. Jace ended up being able to catch up and find Asher, and after a bit of a heart-to-heart between the two, the two of them, Jace managed to convince Asher to come back with us, and basically took him towards the spring. And meanwhile, the rest of the party took the Palman and Woodsman towards the outskirts where the spring is supposed to be, and we found a big old crater where the spring is supposed to be, which made the Palman and Woodsman very sad.
Comfortable as when I'm at least 6 feet under.
Ree has purchased 25 tabletop cards packs.
Thank you so much for that purchase, Raijin. Real quick, the coupon code is alive now. Next 4 people to use it, Rai Blessing, 41% off.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Okay, so we found the spring, and there was just a big old crater there where the spring is supposed to be, and that made the Palmon and Woods were very, very sad. We just kind of began investigating this thing, and I don't remember who was the one that discovered it, but we found out that the water of the spring is basically being diverted towards what we believe is the Beemon's territory.
Opposite of that. It was going towards the border of the forest.
Oh, okay. It's going away from the Bimon territory towards the border of the forest. And well, after a bit of discussion and Jace and Asher joining us in, we convinced the Palmon and Woosmans to not attempt to go find where the water is being led to, because they would just recover from being sapped of their life force for who knows how long. So we convinced it to just go into hiding somewhere further away from the forest. Meanwhile, well, we couldn't promise them that we'll find out what happened to the spring. It was something that we could do if once we actually finish our actual objective. And so, after parting ways with the Palmer and Woodman, we headed off back towards our destination. And we made it quite the headway, and I believe now we're like 1 day away before we set up camp.
We're a day away.
Yeah. And then we set up some watches. Jace and Rib ended up doing first watch, and I believe nothing eventful happened.
They didn't see anything of
They
it.
didn't see a damn thing.
They rolled a 1 and I think a -1, so I don't think they didn't see anything eventful.
They saw everything.
Yeah, there was nothing to see.
Just being watched for like the entire time.
No, we weren't. If we were, we would have seen something.
The percentile dice were also bad.
They need they needed more vision. They don't really have dark vision, so
Yeah. And then in the second watch, it was Kotora and Asher. And Asher began to basically patrol the area, and Kotora waiting behind him. And they kind of had a bit of I guess another heart-to-heart. It was basically a conversation of Kotora just trying to basically see what is bothering Asher and also get to know him a bit better. And then Asher and Kotora actually found people that are watching us. We just saw a bunch of, I believe, yellow eyes watching us for a moment.
Yellow.
Yeah, yellow eyes watching us for a moment, and then Asher used his new move to strike down the Gaomon from the heaven, because that's what apparently was watching us, a bunch of Gaomon, and that was it.
And they said it deals 2. I was gonna ask about how you said 2 die of damage per turn for how many turns?
5 turns, unless they cleanse.
Two dice per. I don't know how does that work with resistances and stuff.
It goes by resistance, and when they roll the 2 dice, it goes by resistance. So if they resist on the dice, they look for 8s. If they're weak, you'd look for 6s on the dice. It just works like normal.
No, I mean they're not resistance or something. They're
Cleanse?
Armor and stuff. I'm trying to think of,
It ignores that.
Okay, that's what I was
integrity.
wondering.
It ignores integrity.
That's what I was thinking of at the moment. I was blanking, but yeah, integrity is what I was thinking of. For damage negation.
Oh, I'm never quite so comfortable as when I'm at least 6 feet under.
IDDoThings has purchased 25 tabletop cards packs.
Thank you for that purchase, Ido.
Oh, I'm never
Thank you for that purchase too, Guru.
6 feet under.
T_Garu has purchased 25 tabletop cards packs.
Discounts doing work, I guess.
I mean, it's the largest discount we've ever had, so I'd be
Yeah, you can
surprised
jump
if
and all that.
people weren't going to stock up with that.
If I wasn't in like all
Oh,
but
I'm
2
never quite so
games, I would
comfortable as
probably
when
use
I'm
it
at
too.
least 6 feet under.
mean, you
Gimund
can still
underscore has
pick up-
purchased 25 tabletop cards packs.
It can be used for things other than tabletop cards, like the Pokemon
Do you
TF
think I
cards.
care about? You think I care about any of the cards that are non-tabletop related?
I mean, those are the most expensive, I believe.
They are.
There's a lot of cards. Okay. So yeah, we should be able to get started now. So like I said, and just to kind of set the scene once again, you're basically into the dead of night. You're not really too sure where it is. Ignore that. You're not really too sure where in the night it is, especially for people who are still asleep. The big old, the big old beam of light was something that only Asher and Kotora would technically see, depending on how much lies through the tens itself. I think we determined it was a very bright light, but Asher and Kotora are a little bit away from the tens. I would say at least 100 feet from where the tents are, as you do want to make a somewhat of a loop around the camp itself. So you're about 100 feet from the campsite whenever you found the yellow eyes into the dark. But with the full glow, Asher, does that light stay, or is it more of like a flashbang? You can determine either way. If it stays on them the whole 5 rounds, as in it makes them shed light for 5 rounds, or if it just kind of fizzles after that.
I'd say it makes them glow as long as the dot is on them. They're still burning. Also, Ido, before I announced it, I let Raijin use it, and Raijin did use it. You know, he's the one that redeemed it, so I was going to make sure that he got the chance to actually use what he redeemed, especially at a discount like that.
No, oh, I mean, did he buy something other than the 25 tabletop? Because I still counted 4, including him.
Gimund also purchased.
I see 4. I saw 4 purchases: Gimund, Guru, Ido, and Raijin.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
There should be one more.
Unless someone didn't get a notification on stream for it. I don't know if you...
That is very weird because, yeah, I don't see any records of anybody else using it. Unless it's in somebody's cart and they're, like, reserving it for them. I hope that's not a thing.
I doubt that would be...
That sounds weird.
That'd be too up for, like, misuse if that was the case, I feel.
But yeah, there were only 4 uses. What the heck? Well, I'll put in another use of it. I'll put in the chat when it's active, and whoever gets it first, congrats.
Me. Ooh, so many unique sound effects going on.
That was for Legendary. That actually played a little bit before it, too. Because there's been 2 Legendaries from these packs. At least.
Yeah, let's get... I gotta get rid of all of these. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. You guys are canceled out.
Feel
everyone...
the backhand of justice!
Great timing.
So much purchasing going on.
Hey, look. People want their packs.
I still have 53,000 points in this channel. Or at least the egg points.
Looks over at my 945,000. Almost at 1 million.
Okay. So everyone roll the initiative, for at least for this, as
Tell
there
me
was.
about the rabbits.
Jive Gab has purchased 25 general cards beta packs.
Not many people buy that pack. Thank you for that purchase, Gift Gap.
That was perfect.
We'll get this game going here soon.
Alright, so yeah, you want initiatives?
Yeah, initiatives for everyone. However, for for everyone asleep, technically, or everyone asleep, do one less dice on. Unless there's a rule for it, I would say just one less dice if you're asleep, just because you're.
Well, we can always. Do you want us to roll a perception
Well-
check for it? For like if we notice things?
I mean, if you're dead asleep, it's gonna be woken up. It's like that, like second. Well, it's either that or a delay around for the people who are asleep. One of the two. It's gonna be a little bit less punishing if I just did one less dice for the initiative.
All right, I'll roll one less.
Unless
dice.
they don't have anything initiative, in which case they rolled nothing.
Minimum of one. Minimum of one dice.
Apparently, the Phoenix Crowns did not.
Apparently, Riv is on it.
Viv is definitely. Okay, good. That automatically added it. Fulker is 12. Astra is 6.
Hang on, still logging in.
Jace is past the F out. And 8, and yep, it's just Haboku then. Okay. And then I gotta roll some.
Oh wait, actually, I forgot. Riv has reliable initiative. Give me plus 10.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Who else has it? I think someone else had reliable initiative.
No.
Might have
I
been
forgot
Jace.
because
think
I
Jace
wasn't
is.
because I wasn't giving Riv like almost anything in initiative. I was like, oh yeah, reliable initiative would be really good for considering I'm not planning on investing in initiative. I mean, I used a starting skill on initiative, and so Riv for like almost his entire like
I'll
next
take
calendar
that.
year is going to be rolling 2 dice plus 10.
Oh no, Haboku tripped on the cape again.
To be fair, we don't know what the Galmon are.
You know what a giant bright light is?
Oh, I was saying in the initiative.
Yeah. That's actually good. I will reveal them as they come up. Actually, no, I'm revealing them now. Timotheus shows up.
Yeah, they're showing up.
Okay. And so this comment may or may not last very long. It may be over in like a turn, but we'll see.
All right. Do you have like the blank square map thing going on for this, or is it just gonna be
no,
like...
it's not. Like I said, this is not. This theoretically should not last very long.
All right. I guess first question is how far out did that patrol go?
100 feet.
100 feet? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sure, whatever.
What is it for initiative ties again? Because Fulgur is tied with Galmon 4.
And Asher is tied with Galmon too.
Each individual, a part of a tie, rolls a d10. Higher of the ties goes up 1 in initiative. If that would then equal someone else's initiative, then what happens is the person who was already there previously gets bumped up 1, so on and so forth, until everyone has a unique initiative score.
Ah, cool.
There we go. We'll ignore the Galmon 3, 4, and 5, which is really close. But yes, Viv, you can start us off. You hear, you not only you wake up to the howl. You don't wake up to the bright light, as you know you're inside of a tent, so you're not exactly looking at bright light. You hear a very loud howl that comes from the outside, and then it jostles you awake at just the suddenness of it, and then you see what looks to be outside of your tent, a extremely bright light about 100 feet away.
Well, Riv is going to blink, be surprised that he's so awake for like half a second, and take 2 movement actions to get closer and use a quick action stat change, Riv turnover. He is now 40 feet away.
Okay, and the first one up is actually, because I rolled a dice just to see who actually got attacked, and it is actually number 1, oddly enough. So the first one, who is extremely glowing at the moment, after all of them howl in after all of them howl in unison, the Galmon, who has a very, very much bright glow about them, begins to feel. When does that burning sensation, or when does that 2 dice happen, Zim? Is it your beginning of your turn or beginning of their turn?
Theirs.
Beginning of their
Okay.
turn.
So do you want to roll that, or do I roll the 2 dice?
Almost true combo there.
2.
Okay, so they will take. So that should be 2 points of, I guess, true damage in a sense. It's
true
direct
damage.
HP, 2 damage. Okay.
We refer to it as a couple things: true damage, condition damage, yada yada yada.
Okay. And they will. Let's see here. They will very much cleanse that immediately after taking the very bright light. Just making sure I read.
Integrity. Integrity. Roll a botch. Add a dot. Botch the cleanse. Add a dot.
Oh,
No,
I
damn
don't
it, he
think they're
didn't
gonna
botch.
botch it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on that. They have 3. They have 2 10s.
Dang.
So what does a 5 give them?
5 would cleanse 5 of every dot condition they have on them. So, let's say someone else also added a dot to them. They would cleanse 5 from each.
Okay.
For
Perfect.
Asher's attack, it cleanses 5. He only had 2. It doesn't get anything for extra.
Okay. So you see them cleanse, and as they kind of, I'll be honest, we're seeing the big old light. For how they cleanse it, you see them especially with the howling of everything else, they are able to do. You're not really too sure why. It looks like they do a quick dive into the ground and a quick roll on the ground, along with not really too sure, but they seem to be able to get rid of not only the dot on them, but also the light, as everyone is plunged back into darkness with the light going away. But that will be their entire turn for them. Folger. Also, Riv, you see the light vanish before you, but you know the direction that you're going. Folger, you are quickly woken up with the sound of a howl, and you don't see anything around you immediately, though you can hear commotion very, very far, very close by.
The first
You're
thing
still
that
in your tent.
the first thing that occurred to my mind is just the blanket he was in becoming a pincushion.
Luckily, you have your armored blanket that's kind of like chainmail in soft form.
Yeah. So he's gonna get up and look outside the tent.
You see Riv quickly quickly dashing, dashing towards a location, though they seem to be very locked into a specific location.
He's gonna follow Riv, but on the way, he's gonna use Inner Origin and he's now an electric water type.
Okay, you are now electric water.
Wata.
For Galmon 3, 4, and 5, in what they do, after they see the one light go out, all three of them, basically, in a almost practiced form, all jump in front of you, Kotora, with their back towards you, as they stand in between you and Asher, and almost what looks to be a protective circle. It is very odd considering that you just saw Asher completely just light up one of them. But you see all three of them kind of form a barrier between you and them as they all hoard their claws at the ready at Asher, stating to get back from the Forest Guardian's minion. And the other Galmon says, seeing your red coat, they look initially, as one of them looks at you a little bit odd at first. They see you and they think that you may have it, but after seeing your coat isn't the same, they in a almost this practiced voice, just say, "Get back, other one. This one is one of the Forest Guardian's minions. I don't want to see evil come upon you." And then they, all three of them stand in defense mode in front of you, Kotora, with a glare. It is your go, Kotora.
Okay, so the moment Kotora sees what the Galmon are doing, he's going to, whatchamacallit, wiggles, like, raise his arms and begin waving them, waving them as if to get their attention. Wait! This has just been all a big misunderstanding.
You say as Asher just has completely lit up one of them on holy fire, but they listen to you in the sense of they do respond. They say anyone working for the Guardian is nothing more than a manipulative tool for their pleasure, and well, they kind of look, they kind of give a glare. We overheard this one talking about evil.
Yes, I am the god of death. I do not work for no guardian.
Asher, shush! Please, you're not making it better.
Evil! You see them all three point a claw at you at the same time. Evil!
Is he just doing the Mermaid Man and evil scream?
Yes.
Evil!
Koto, is there anything else you'd like to do? Talking is a free action.
Oh yeah,
You do
I am.
seem to be... Go ahead.
Like I am still talking to them. No. He's not a Forest Guardian minion. Believe me, he's not.
And do you counter his claim of being evil?
Kotora is silent for a moment. Just actually give me a moment. I need to see how to respond properly.
It is technically. I will say it is also technically your go, Asher.
Yeah, because Kotora is not attacking.
They do seem afraid of you in a sense, but also with them together, it is more so maybe fear as an individual, but they look very resolved together.
Asher, please don't attack them. This was a big misunderstanding.
It's the same everywhere.
What do you mean?
He's just going to shake his head. Fine. But
see them
he
look-
is going to take a stance of being prepared to defend himself.
That is fair. You see the other Galmon. Oh, sorry, I should ask. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, he is holding an action to make an attack if they present any more hostility.
You see the other Galmon with their much better vision. They're able to see Riv and, well, kind of. They're not really able to see Fulgur, also Riv kind of approaching, as Riv is much closer in distance. You see them go past both Kotora and the other 3 Galmon, and along with that, they kind of nudge the other one that spy them, and they kind of nudge them in the direction that they see Riv, and that one specifically dashes off and puts themselves kind of with their back towards Riv as well, but in a defensive, as they kind of have their arms in a more combat stance, but putting themselves between Asher and Riv. And that is their turn.
I see what the Gaomon are doing. It's actually kind of adorable.
Haboku, it is your go. You're woken up by howls, which feels slightly resonates with you a little bit, you know. But you do wake up to the howls. You feel maybe a little bit of an instinct to howl too, but you resist that, and you wake up, and your danger sense is you feel it a little bit. It's more of a startlement, but it's kind of this weird mix between knowing that something is going on, so something needs to be either protected or something is happening, but you don't get the same sense of danger like someone is trying to hurt others. It's more so that something is wrong. It's a feeling of wrongness in the air. And it was very quick to come on.
Haboku will give a little twitch from where he's laying down, prone in his tent, but he will not move.
Okay. As you begin to take in your surroundings, I'll go ahead and give just for your turn, then I'll have you do a perception check for that.
Okay.
As you're more so taking in those surroundings.
Nice. 0.
Oh no.
Your
Watch that
perception is internal, not external. Your perception is internal.
No, so
You see yourself.
oh, I could have used soul there. I was using something else scale.
Let's see. Okay. And that'll be your go. You see the other Galmon running over to where his partner was, and they separate once again, separating Asher from the rest of the group, at least to the best of their ability, by putting themselves in between them and what they have already seen for like past 4 hours, stalking Riv and Jace. But they know that others are in the tent, so they're making sure that the tent is separated from Asher. But they kind of get in a not exactly locking arm stance, but a defensive stance between them. Riv, you are now facing the backs of 2 Galmon, along with 3 other Galmon that seem to be in front of your brother, but they don't seem to be posing any harm to your brother.
And Kotora is waving his arms widely.
Yeah, Rip probably caught like the tail end of some of that, like just from
Yeah.
the turnover thing, and he's just gonna be like, excuse me, could one of you two tell me what's going on here? Because I see a lot of things that's going down, but I don't want to assume.
You kind of hear one of the ones that Galmon 5 and 2, the ones that are kind of right in front of you, you hear them say, "That's one of the Guardian's minions that roam this forest, causing chaos, destruction, and territory all across this place. They are the root of evil in this forest, and they are one of manipulation, and clearly they've gone to you guys. You've come to the forest at a bad time."
Okay, well, if he's trying to manipulate people, he's kind of bad at it, considering he goes around telling people how evil he is. I
Evil?
don't think...
You see them point fingers at Asher and yell loudly, evil.
Okay, but also, just... I don't think he's exactly doing that, considering that, you know, he hasn't even been in the forest for how many years? Like, over a decade, at least, or two, right? Asher, you haven't been here for, like, 2 decades, right?
Somewhere around there.
I mean, from what Jace told us, you didn't even hatch in the forest. You were an egg before he left, weren't you?
He nods.
Okay, yeah, so technically, if you don't count the egg part, he hasn't even been here?
He kind of looks, over at the rest of you guys. Says, "This one must be the spawn of the other one that roamed the forest, terrorizing the people here."
Kotora
You
blink.
can, you see them point to the markings on Asher's face. They are those markings similar to the scaled one in your party. They point back at where the tents were. We have not seen the Guardian's other minion in many days, but he was once terrorizing the forest with claws and fangs, manipulation and tactics. They've caused much destruction. They should know that this territory does not belong to them.
Wait. Hold up. The Guardian is missing? Or rather, he hasn't been seen in a while?
The minion, the Guardian's minion. They're referring to when Jace left.
Ah.
But they say, no, the Guardian's here plotting evil things within the forest, and their minions are out there doing the bidding. And he kind of looks, those marks are stains on the face to show the world that they are evil and have decided to do so.
Oh, we know. We know what those markings mean, but Asher and Jace over here are deserters. Well, technically, Asher was never even one to begin with, but Jace is a deserter.
I'll say
Also, we're
Good.
members of the DAH.
You kind of look as they look like a second more so confused, but they quickly gain their composure again. As also Folger, you are now approaching yourself, Folger.
Walker's probably coming up from behind to Riv and probably seeing now that it's more of like a argument. He's just gonna probably just stay behind Riv.
You kind of see them, the other two in front of you. Look, even that one is scared of the one. Clearly, you've been, and they kind of look back and they look to you, Folger, and back to Asher. Clearly, he's been coercing that one to be in the party, probably for sympathy.
No, Fulger's just socially anxious.
Yeah. Could you guys please stop just making up things as you go? You guys have just been observing us for the past who knows how many hours, right? We thought you guys were minions of the Forest Guardian or the Beamon.
You see them. You hear a very, very audible growl whenever you mention the Beamon specifically, as you see, and a few of them even one of them even kind of like spits out over to the ground. Those Beamon are just as tormenting as the Guardian themselves. They're nothing more than slaves to them as well nowadays.
Oh,
Well, we kind of know that too. We kind of helped a bunch of people when we first came into the forest because they were poisoned and paralyzed and all of that.
There was a bunch of Palmon and Woodsmans that were just paralyzed and their life was being sucked away by the forest itself, and it was apparently set up by the Beamon. It was thanks to us that that they managed to get away. Also, go ahead. Sorry.
I really hope they took our advice and actually left the forest instead of trying to find where the water went.
I hope so too. Hey, Asher, Kotora is going to point out Asher. It was partly thanks to him that we were able to save them.
Yeah, he's a medic.
Okay, Dace. We're not familiar with what your DAH is, but you kind of look.
Oh, do you not know what the data anomaly hunters are? We hunt glitches and make sure that the glitches stop, ruining entire cities.
They kind of look to you a little bit confused. We're very aware of the anomalies that are happening in the forest. I'm not sure if that's what you refer to as these glitches. That's what the other one refers to as.
Yeah, so actually, are you referring to a bunch of stuff, for instance, also happening a bit north of here about another day? Because that's where we're heading partially, and we know that that area is kind of bad, as well as some other areas where you go more towards the center, but...
You see them quickly, almost in an instant. As you mentioned, you're going towards that north end. They say, you cannot enter that area. That is all territory and forbidden for other people. Even the Guardian doesn't go in that area.
Okay, well, someone went missing there, and we're trying to find them, and also figure out what the glitch is doing there. So I'd much rather work with you guys and all of that, but we are supposed to be trying to find a missing person.
You see them look even more defensive than they were prior, but this time it's no longer directed at Asher. You see them kind of exchange a few glances and nods, though you're not really too sure how to really interpret it. But after that, they all group up in a less so of a line, but more so just kind of gathering up together, more in a group, breaking away from Kotora, and they say, "This is the forest of the leader as well as us, and we can't let you go into the north area."
Again, we'd much rather just work with you. I don't particularly want to, like, try and fight you or invade or something. Like, I would much rather we just kind of work together and get along. If you guys have problems, like, maybe we could help out with that.
Yeah. We might be, our job might be to investigate the glitches, but at the same time, we do have a habit of helping out people. If there's anything that we can help you guys with, we will be happy to do so if you can help us out.
They look as they kind of count off a little bit. It kind of looks you and you see one of them especially sniffing the air a little bit. There's still a few more of you missing. They kind of look over back at the tents. We saw two of you just a few bits ago. And they kind of look at the tents. They better not be trying to run off into our territory without the... They kind of look over. As you see them begin to go towards the tent where Haboku is, as one of them seems to be following their nose.
Does it
I
seem
mean,
to be
some of us
a
just got
hostile
done with
action?
going. Go ahead.
Does it seem to be hostile?
No, they seem to be following their nose as if it's kind of tracking the scent.
Oh boy, Haboku's about to meet another dog of Digimon.
Yep. Although Riv is just going, some of us, including me, just kind of got done marching and going forward all day and trying to help people and just did
We were sleeping.
a watch. I'd much rather go back to sleep if possible.
You kind of see him. If we make sure to count 6 of you whenever you are here. If I don't find 6 of you in this camp, I'm going to assume that one of you is trying to slip past into our territory.
The other two must just be asleep. Although,
Why would they slip away from the rest of us to go further? That wouldn't make any sense.
we're trying to do this together. Are you guys actually listening to what we're saying?
No,
They
they're not.
seem
They are full of
very-
themselves and have decided things for themselves. And there's no sense trying to reason with them.
They seem very defensive, and it's one of those things where it doesn't seem like they're defensive of themselves at this point. It does seem like they're defensive in a different way. It's not like they're protecting each other. It seems like they have a sense of worry about them. But one of them does make it.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question, please?
You see one of them kind of step up and respond. They seem to have a lot. It's the Galmon one, the one that Asher did the effect on. They look to be very much taller than the rest of the other Galmon. Some more stature to them, more than the ones around them. But they stand up and say, "What is it you would like to ask?"
Why is the area off limits?
You kind of look as they're looking between you and Asher, as well as back at the tents. I would have to tell one of you in private, and also investigate your true meanings before I were to divulge that, especially not to someone who could still potentially be a minions of the Guardian.
Asher is not a minion of the Guardian. I can swear that to you. He wasn't even born in the forest.
And I look. They say, I will have, and they kind of point to each one of them, counting up the amount of, and then counting back. Then we'll do a little bit thing. I will have each one of you tell your story to one of the Galmon, and if all of you have the same story, then you'll pass, and make sure that you're actually having the same intention. I want to make sure that there's no manipulation going on within your group. That's what their specialty is.
Okay.
You see,
what story exactly do you want to tell? Our mission?
yes, why you're here and why you're so determined to get into our area.
Oh, okay. Sure, we can do that.
I mean, we didn't even know it was your area. We were just going north because that was where the person was last seen.
Yeah. We were basically trying to go for a distress signal.
They look at you curiously about the distress signal. A few other nods between themselves and the others. But they will. You see one of the Galmon go over to you, Kotora, and you see one of them go over to you, Ev and Folger, and they seem to kind of separate a little bit. With 2 of them still kind of standing in more of a god shape in front around Asher, but they say, "Go tell your story to each one of these, and then we will confirm as a pact to make sure that you are telling the truth."
Okay. Can we all cooperate here, please?
We can cooperate if what you're saying is true. Then yes, cooperation is indeed on the table. But we have to make sure that your intentions are true.
Yeah. Kotra wasn't exactly telling that to the Gamma, he was telling this to the rest of the party. But yeah, Kotra accepts that answer. Okay, we can. This is acceptable. Come on. Okay.
Asher, for his part, is going to go over to the tent, and he will not be letting anybody go in there. The one
You
where
see them kind
Haboku
of,
and Chase are.
One of them's already. As you see, Asher, one of them has just poked their nose into the tent.
He will have put a judgment beam in front of them before they got into the tent.
Okay, fair enough. As they go over to sniff the tent to see if there is indeed the rest of your party not somewhere deep into the forest, into their territory, a giant beam of light will erupt in front of the tent. Haboku, how are you doing at the moment? A giant light of beam has now appeared in front of your tent, along with the scent of another dog.
There's another twitch from Haboku. But he still remains staying still. Hell. If anyone is close enough to check on him, they might notice that beneath his hood, what's left of his missing core, or there's now a red glow under it.
Asha, you would like to go in your tent, correct?
Oh, he's gonna be standing guard in front of it. You are
Okay.
not going in there.
They kind of look. Just let me confirm that they are indeed in
No.
there. I would not have to go in there. Kind of looks. Just want to confirm that they're not somewhere else. I do not have to go inside the tent. I just want to make sure the other Digimon are in there.
You will not
promise I will not go in the
disturb my
tent.
father or my minion.
Kind of see him sniffing around the tent a little bit. You see them walking around the tent, not to go inside, but as in they're kind of like sniffing the air, as they realize that the scent doesn't go past the tent. Well, assuming they haven't dug a tunnel underneath the tent, I will take your word they have not left the tent. But I will be watching the tent to see if any, well, 3 come out. And you see 2 of them kind of standing in a more guarded position outside your tent. But they don't seem to be trying to intrude into it.
Kotora is extremely nervous.
You also hear the sounds of a much deeper, much very, very grittier voice howl from a very much more distanced away. You see a very small bit of betraying tail wags coming from the Galmon as they hear that howl. But they remain resolute.
Raijin.
But yes, they will say you will see them, especially with you, Folger. One of them will go to you, and one of them will go to Riv and say, "We do need to separate you in order to coordinate your stories together. I will have to speak to the small one alone."
Hey Folger, if they talk to you alone, are you gonna be okay as long as, you know, like what if they just go like over here with you a little bit? He's just gonna point like a little bit away, so that way it's just outside of conversational distance, but still very much inside of visual range.
That is the response you're getting.
Riv will just sigh a little bit and go, "Okay, look, Folger, we don't really want to fight them, and if we don't try cooperating with them, they're probably going to fight us. So
I know you're very nervous, Fogger, but we really need you to work with us here. I'm really sorry.
look, if they do anything, I can do the thing where I, point at them for a little bit.
We got your back. Just try and talk, please.
You just without saying anything, he just runs to a spot. Oh.
You see one of the Galmon fall over to the spot at a almost leisurely pace, but they don't. It's guarded, but in leisure at the same time. They give a nod to the others as they separate you, Riv, and Kotora, as they take you over to a little bit different parts of the forest, just to make sure you're out of earshot before that. But in the meantime, you do, in terms of this, Asher, they don't seem to be going into the tent. Do you want to check inside on the tent at all? Since usually Haboku would have came out by now, but Haboku doesn't seem to have come out of the tent yet.
Yes. Cautiously.
You'd go in to see hey Haboku, who still laying down. Um, his eyes are still open, but his body is twitching every now and then, and and there's a bit of red static emerging from where his core once was. And yet Haboku was not saying anything. Okay.
Haboku, you okay?
There's a moment of silence, and then and Asher should see a just where Haboku's core once was, a large arch apparition and a large red apparition and manifests as probably bigger than his tent, but thankfully it's just going through his tent, not actually doing any damage to it. But
So it's like a
You mean
hologram.
his hood?
No, the
Yes.
tent.
His- the tent he's in, and as well as his hood. More like a projection, and you just see a large Solugermon then that looks like it's wounded. It doesn't really do much of anything. It just says as
I, I, I can't. I refuse. I can't die.
and just to set in, and as the a projection appears, is it dissipates. And then Haboku inks.
Asher is going to go into the tent properly now. Though he will be keeping an eye on the entrance, and if he sees any nose or anything poke in, it is getting blasted.
They don't seem to follow, but they do. You can see their paws outside remain firm and kind of tense, but remain firm outside.
He's gonna go over to Haboku, put a paw on his shoulder.
And for once, Haboku is caught off guard. Huh? What?
You're okay. Just some bigots outside. Breathe.
uh, uh, okay. And Haboku will do his best imitation at breathing.
Best imitation. So, what were you thinking?
Remember how I said I had that feeling that something bad might happen in the past?
He nods.
Well, I've had it a lot lately, especially when we aim into this forest. So I was thinking, and uh, trying to hone in on it more, so I could, uh, uh, be able to help everyone and help keep everyone safe. But I how Is everyone awake yet?
Jace is still asleep, but everyone else is currently talking with these bigots outside.
Haboku will turn his head and see he can see outside.
Well, Asher made
You
sure that
see-
the tent flap was shut.
You notice the tent flap is shut and you can't peek outside.
Asher will be very uncooperative with them.
I'd imagine they're very uncooperative with you. It's a very fitting, funny tale. Yeah, Haboku, you realize that Asher does not intend for you to go outside at the moment.
Haboku considers going outside, but unbeknownst to him, it left him feeling really disturbed for some reason.
What's on your mind? Something just happened with you. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
I don't know. Oh, like I was trying to phone in on that feeling again, and just kind of hard for me to remember or what happened, and it just. He pauses and looks down. He looks. I know it made me really unhappy when I looked past that. Like I was trying to find something. It's just I don't think I liked what I found.
Something within yourself, you mean?
Yeah. I think it had something to do with why I don't like. I really, well, I don't really like the glitch all that well. I think someone killed me with it.
Somebody used the glitch to make you like you are?
Yeah. But I didn't want to die, so I tried to not do that. And then I don't really know what happened from there. Actually, Bear, do you know what happens when, you know, you're supposed to, actually stay dead?
A little bit. I know they typically come see me at that point. A big gate, and I judge and separate things out. Most of it is a little foggy.
Is it normal for them to be like me?
He shakes his head. No, those that are actually gone, they don't come back like you. I mean, there are mindless undead that can be raised, but one that actually is still there, that has their core, you're rather unique. And I don't get those ones. They don't go down there.
Hmm. I think I need more time to try and think on this. It actually doesn't feel as weird to think, funnily enough. A lot of stuff I was confused about, but I think it's slowly coming back. I don't know if that was Riv's doing, or if that meditation thing that Kudamon taught me helped a little better with that as well. Right, Jen?
Rank up. Hold the line. This hamlet shall not fall.
Polly_penguin raided my stream with 7 viewers.
Hello there, Polly Penguin. Welcome in. Thank you very much for that raid. Hope you had a good stream. You guys have come into the middle of our Data Anomaly Hunters campaign. It's one of our Digimon campaigns being run with our custom scar system that we've been developing. We've got a lot of different tabletop games here. Pokemon, Digimon, Star Wars, Pathfinder. We also have artists that come and join us throughout the week, and a huge variety of games that I play. So I hope you all enjoy the show and hit that follow button. And for those already here, please share the love with Polly. And thank you for the suggestion there, Red Raven. Thank you for sharing your community with me, Polly. I really appreciate it. Hope you had a great stream. I will be in the chat from here. We were just talking about that game earlier.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we'll not get into that drama.
Yeah, but
So back in game, Asher is gonna go ahead and leave the tent again. Was there a river or anything nearby?
not immediately close by. It would have I would say it's about, I'd say, a quarter mile away from the closest stream.
Oh,
There may not be a river, but there is a riv.
About a quarter of a stream.
I should made the
quarter of a
same
mile.
joke.
There's a Rivamere.
Asher's just gonna start walking towards the stream.
You see the two ones that were going in the tent, kind of give a nod to each other, and they just kind of follow a little bit at a distance, but follow.
He is going to purposely ignore them.
That is fair.
Haboku's gonna give one more, or he's actually one more thing as Asher's leaving. Asher, should I stay here? I've got a lot on my mind.
Yes. Just stay here, and if anyone comes in, blast them with your fire. Unless it's me.
What about the rest of the party?
Did I stutter? They shouldn't be coming in. You'll be fine. I'll be back shortly.
Haboku will just give a lighthearted chuckle. Oh, then he'll just curl up again and then lower his head back onto the ground. One more thing to note is that at the temperature in his room does actually feel a bit warmer. His tent, I mean. God damn it.
Well, he's in a three-person. He's in a three-person tent with Jason. but good to know.
You see Jace just completely knocked out, to just snore a little bit. A little bit, just completely passed out next to you. They don't seem to have a care at the moment of what's going on. They have a look of being so done right now, while also being asleep.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if this is out of character or in character for Jace, not gonna lie.
Oh, it's very in character. This is overwhelmingly in character for Jace.
So you've heard of RBF. Now it's SBF. Sleeping bitch face. just a little bit of a just completely done with the world. But yeah, we'll start with actually just for kicks, Folger, Kotora, and Riv, just give me a D10 each just to see who is talking to them first. Just for curious sake.
That joke's on you for having us roll.
we almost had a 666 there.
Almost.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah, Riv and Folger, give me another D10, and don't roll the same or else.
Oh, or else.
no.
Dang.
Okay, good. We'll go bottom to top. Kotora, you see one of the Galma kind of take you over to the side, within very much earshot of the others, enough to kind of keep. They form this like triangle to make sure that each person is within the distance of another, but the maximum distance they possibly could get. As you see them kind of standing tall, and they say, "First off, what's your name?"
Kotora.
You see them kind of holding their claw to their chin. Do you have any other names you go by?
Kotora shakes his head.
Very well. Where did you come from?
Well, my home used to be the ice cream, although at the moment I am situated in what is the name of the main city again?
Kenzo.
Kenzo. I'm situated in Kenzo. As part of the data anomaly hunters.
And what's this data anomaly hunters thing you speak of?
We are an organization in Kenzo that we're basically tasked to investigate and try to deal with the glitches that have been happening around the world.
These anomalies you mentioned, you call them glitches.
Kotora nods.
Kind of see him tapping. Why would you be so passionate to go in and put risking danger to stop these anomalies?
Kotora is going to rub his chin for a moment as if thinking of what exactly to say in that regard. Well, partly it's because I like to help people, but partly it's because I also want to help myself.
Okay, you kind of see their eyes now, but you can help people and help yourself by delivering bread to the local people of a town. Why danger? Why the life of risk?
Kotora is going to rub his fingers together as if he's a bit apprehensive of having to say what he wants to say. Okay, I had to be truthful here. The thing is that I kind of joined the organization partly because there is a glitch affecting me myself, and I was hoping that perhaps I could find a way to get rid of it. That perhaps I will get some sort of knowledge while investigating the glitches with the organization, or perhaps they could help me with that themselves.
We've seen a lot of strange anomalies happening in this forest. If you say you come on your organization, then who sent you with this organization?
What's the name of the Werga room out front?
Kino.
Yeah. We were the leader of the Dara Anomaly Hunters is Kino, the guardian, the guardian of Kenso. You guys, if nothing else, you guys may have heard of him.
Yes, we're very familiar of the, and they kind of they kind of look over at the rest of them. Yes, we're very, very familiar. The Golden Claw, they call themselves, are kind of, they look into the forest a little bit. Yes, there's more of us that are aware of them, and they are good friends. If you are with them, anyways. And they kind of say, "What brought you here, then?"
Well, we were basically tasked to investigate a bit of a. I suppose it's a bit of a distress signal. Another member of our organization went to investigate around this area, and he hasn't come back in a few weeks. And we know that that there's some sort of anomaly or glitch in the area. So we were kind of sent as a bit of a double job to investigate his disappearance and also to investigate the anomaly.
You mentioned something about a person here. Do you even know who you're looking for?
Kotora knows, but I, as the player, need a reminder.
Naoki.
Do we know what kind of Digimon he was?
Kamimon.
Kamimon, Naoki the Kamimon.
Yeah. I believe he was a Kamimon named Naoki.
You kind of see their eyes go right at that, and they say, "What are you planning on doing with them when you find them?"
I mean, it's a bit of a rescue mission, but we also need to investigate the anomalies. If he's in no condition to help us out, we'll probably need to try and see how we can get him back to Kenso as soon as we can.
You kind of say, they kind of look and says, "I will convey this with the others and make sure this story sounds correct."
Okay.
And at the same time this is happening, Folger, you see them kind of take you over to the side a little bit away from earshot of everyone else, and they look and say, "What's your name?"
Over?
You see them kind of tap a claw on their chin. "What other names do you go by?"
Vulgar?
No spy names or infiltration names or code names?
He shakes his head.
I think you look enough like a Folger to be able to sound correct with that.
What the fuck does that mean?
Basically squinted at him and went, "You look like your name fits you." Anyway.
I have heard that in various shows and media and such, and I am always like, the fuck does that mean?
I'm trying to appear very intimidating, okay?
You just went super static.
They're Galmon. They're trying to appear really intimidating.
No, Zerda, you are...
No, your mic.
Oh, 1 second.
Like, not internet, this is bad mic thing.
Give me a second.
Well, that sounded fine. Also, GibGab... Yeah, it was essentially, you look like a Folger.
Yeah.
Let me switch over to the other mic. Okay. Now I'm using the other mic. That should be a little bit better. Well, not better, but not staticky.
Actually, that is slightly better. Is this
Perfect.
a
I'll use this
standalone one?
Yep, this is a standalone.
Yeah,
I'll keep it this one.
having heard them back to back, it is remarkable how similar they are with a headset mic, or compared to a headset mic, but there is a little bit lower of a volume as opposed to the headset mic being slightly more tinny.
Okay, I'll use this mic if that's I'll use this mic then.
Yeah. It's
Trust
very
me,
similar though. It's just the quality is slightly.
For most people that do not have audio files set up like I do, they would not notice a difference at all. But for me, it's like, oh, okay.
You know, I can hear it. It's just also like, it's not greatly better in any one way. It's just slightly better in every way.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, no, they're Galmon, but they're trying to appear very intimidating and in control. But they're also just Galmon. So I'm trying to have the facade of being very strong and in control while being very short Galmon. But after they say, yes, you do indeed look like a Fulgur, I'll have to take you on that word. And they say, what are you doing here in the forest?
No rescue mission?
You see him squint. Rescuing who?
The person who sent the distress signal?
And you don't and do you know this person's name?
Question, was Fulgur ever told?
It would have been included in Rib's 3-hour debriefing.
Oh yeah,
Of
we
the
have to do a
situation.
3-hour debriefing.
Okay.
Remember when
remember
how he showed up and did a multi-hour debriefing for everyone?
Now depends.
Okay.
Did Fulgur pay attention enough to remember?
Yeah, if it's a Riv lecture.
So I'd say yes.
A Kamimon named Naoki?
Gonna see their eyes go wide as you say that. And what do you plan on doing with this Naoki when you find them?
Probably taking him back to Kinza?
You see him kind of scratch their chin a little bit, keeping a strong, almost defensive but commanding stance. They say, and why you? Why? And they kind of gesture up and down. You don't seem like the type to want to risk your life on things. Why are you here?
Just to suffer. Sorry, I can't help it whenever I hear that.
Well, technically that's kind of true right now, given he's in a social interaction.
A one-on-one social interaction with no one to help.
And it's a first time.
I repeat, what, and he kind of looks at you, would bring someone like a Fulgur out here to risk life and limb in this forest?
Apparently, Fulgur is a category of people now. I'm sorry, Gimund.
They haven't done interrogations before.
I can see that. There are definitely no Banes.
How does Fulgur respond to this accusation?
To explore, but mainly the mission to rescue Naoki.
Okay, looks. You can explore anywhere. You can explore the inners of some kind of shop somewhere in one of those cities. You can explore so many places. Why in such a dangerous area? Why with things crawling, vines up to wrap you, bees there to sting you, so many things out to eat you? Why? Why here?
Because ruins?
They kind of look at you. They kind of look. The ruins have long been gone and gnawed over with roots that tangle themselves in any sort of ancient temples or could possibly arise from the old forest and the old ways. Those things have long and closed off.
The Galmon has made a mistake.
Oh, yes, he has now.
The Galmon has made a mistake.
Because there's ruins in other places as well, and all of them contain all sorts of things, like you can these murals, scripts on the walls, and he's just gonna go on and on about the sorts of things you can find in ruins.
Oh, I
Hmm.
see. Fulgur actually gets tugged when you begin speaking about ruins. It's like rib light.
Yes,
Guy looks.
Rip Light.
They look at you and say, "You seem to have an innocent enough spirit. Runes don't typically contain, well, people kind of danger, Digimon kind of danger. Mostly it's traps and spikes, and you kind of look over. Maybe spikes aren't as much of a problem for you, but there's other traps too." Are you still holding your blanket on you?
He's wearing it like a cloak.
And say, "And who sent you out here?"
Uh, here, Kino.
You see them have a nod of understanding. Yes, they are definitely a good canine companion that we've seen before. If you're with them, that's a good sign. I don't think. He kind of looks at you. Not really sure if you have the capability to lie or spin too many tales. So I think you'll be okay. Kind of looks. He kind of gets a little bit close with a very low growl. He says, "Just make sure your party members, those that you keep close to you, aren't going to misuse your innocence. They'll have you causing crime and chaos and evil if you're not careful."
Okay.
Kind of looks. "And what do you take of the red one, the small one with the markings?"
Give me a second.
I like to just think that he said that in character. What had happened earlier in mine.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to think about given that.
I had a feeling.
Like, what do you think of the one that's over there, the one with the markings? Kind of looks. This nose can smell lies. Gives a quick few sniffs around you. Do you need a minute?
Person who I think could be better. as he sort of looks away with kind of a upset tone.
Evil, right?
Nah. He just needs to learn things.
Kind of gestures over to the rest of the group. And what is he learning from you all?
About our glitches?
The anomalies you speak of.
He nods.
They kind of look a little bit. But you said they're learning to be better, not learning more knowledge. You could learn about anomalies and use it for good or evil.
Or like learn to be a better person.
And do you think he's learning that from you?
He shakes his head.
Well, Folger, I'll have to see if your tale sounds correct with the others. I'll keep you until the rest of them are done talking. But I don't smell any lies yet. And then he'll go to Riv.
Hooray!
Yay! He has activated the party's trap card.
Gonna see the you see the Galmon stand over you. They say, and what's your name?
Do you want the name that I normally go by, or do you want my full name?
I want every name you've ever gone by.
Okay, well, my full name is technically Rivamir, but I almost never use the last half of it, and I normally just go by Riv. So I guess technically, by that definition, I have two names, but one name is actually a subset of the other name.
And which name do you use for covert missions?
I mean, I've never been on a covert mission, but I guess if I had to choose one, Riv is shorter and probably more forgettable than Rivamir.
That sounds plausible. And what brought you here?
Do you mean this specific part of the forest? Do you mean the forest in general? Like,
To all territory.
at what point did your territory technically start? Because, sorry, it's really hard to tell. It's normally just forest to me.
Okay, look. About a quarter mile south.
Oh, okay. In that case, well, we were heading north to try and find another member of our organization, the DAH, otherwise known as the Data Anomaly Hunters. And we were heading north, just mostly traveling in order to get to the last known location in order to look in that area for any sort of further clues about where they might have gone off to. And we were kind of trying to hurry, both because the glitches, the various people that are in the forest that are not exactly friendly, as well as just hopefully getting there before the glitches get worse. We stopped here because, well, we were walking all day, kind of got tired.
The anomalies. I think that's what you referred to as the glitches, the anomalies here.
Yeah, they've they actually go by a couple different names based on the local thing, but the current running name that a lot of people are using is glitches.
Glitches. And I'm not familiar with this data anomaly hunter you speak of. Who runs this organization?
Okay, well, we're based out of Kinzo. I guess the organization only has like one actual leader, which is Kino. He's the guardian of Kinzo. He normally runs things, but also there's there's another mon out there that named Kiku who does a lot of the administrative stuff, so that way he could still focus on most of his duties.
Yes, we're familiar with the Golden Claw. The great friends of... They kind of look off into the forest a little bit. You don't really see what they're looking at, but they say, Yes. They are close friends of ours. You guys say, what... And who's this person you're looking for?
Oh, okay. So, I have a couple different identifiers to describe them by. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run through all of them, and you go ahead and actually, I'm gonna go through all of them just to make sure that there aren't any sort of cases of mistaken identity, because I do know that there is actually a population of Kamemon here, but specifically we're looking for a Kamemon named Naoki. Also happen to be friends with a Kamemon named Han. But basically, okay, so a while ago, they came here to start researching into the glitches, and were trying to find a bunch of data about that, because the spreading glitch data was starting to get really worrying to them, actually. And about 3 weeks ago, connection with them had been lost because both Han and Naoki were kind of keeping in contact with each other. And we got some information from Naoki about a source of a lot of natural glitch in the area, which was actually based off of a tree that he suspects was producing glitch data like toxins, but he wasn't really quite ready to actually go over to the tree yet. But he did notice that, there were unfamiliar people that were in the area, one of which is a cameraman. We're pretty sure that that was someone named Ragiri, as
As you begin to say that, you hear a very audible growl that comes from the Gimund whenever you mention Ragiri the cameraman. You say, as you hear him say, "A spineless coward is never allowed in this territory again."
Oh, well, I wouldn't actually worry about that too much because, yeah, he actually went over to Shawshan and was causing trouble there, and that was actually our last deployment, so we kind of already dealt with him.
I hope I dealt you mean made sure he never walked or went anywhere ever again.
As far as I'm aware, I don't think he's quite capable of doing anything, actually. I'm not actually sure about the exact details of it, but, we went there, arrested someone that was working with Ragiri, ended up having to fight him, which was... It was not exactly the greatest time, considering that he kind of stole some data from my brother, and I was upset about that for a while, but...
Did you destroy him?
I don't think destroy is the best word for it. I think deconstruct is a better word. I think that's a more accurate word. Disassemble, deconstruct.
You see a smile come across the Galman's face, one that you have not really seen so far, as mostly you've been keeping very stoic. But you see a smile as you describe the destruction of Ragiri to them.
Yeah, he's not going into too much detail. He's just trying to find the right word.
Yeah. You know, it says that evil needed to be stamped out.
I'm gonna be
You have a lot
AFK
more
for
trust.
a couple of minutes. Be back soon.
All right.
Okay. You say, you have a lot more trust. Well, if you do indeed telling the truth about destroying him, or at least stopping him, then you have a lot more trust in here. And they kind of look, what do you intend to do with this Naoki when you see them?
Probably check on them, make sure that they haven't gotten glitched in the meantime, let them know that their connection had ran out, that, we were looking for them, all that sorts of stuff. If he's actually still, healthy and in a good state, probably help him figure out at least a little bit about what the glitch in the area is going on while we're already here. I mean, we are a part of the Data Anomaly Hunter, so a lot of our job is actually dealing with glitches, although we don't exactly limit ourselves strictly to that. We just try and focus on it as much as we can. Actually, there's a couple of interesting things that I managed to find in the library about some stories about really important trees in the area, and we're kind of worried that one of those might have gotten glitched and is actually causing a whole lot of the problems with this, especially one that's actually...
The great tall one in the middle of the forest.
Yeah, so we were considering that one. There's also because there's a large amount of glitch area in the northwest part of the forest, and
The anomalies in the forest. Yes. Our initial hunting ground was, taken by that. We've had to move our territory southwest ever since the forest has been claiming its own self due to the anomaly.
Yeah. But when we find them, first I'll probably actually make sure to identify them as the correct Kamemon because I went ahead and got a hold of their data signature from Han, so I'm actually going to be able to figure out pretty easily if it's actually Naoki or if it's someone pretending to be Naoki. So I guess I'd do that one first, but
Let me
medical
see
checkup would
this
probably be.
data signature you mentioned.
Do you want to see a visual representation of it? Because I kind of have it mostly in my head, but if you want to see a visual one, I actually have a custom-made digipad, which is a form of technology that actually can connect to certain Digimon's cores and, give a little bit of the information that's on it out. It's a really nice visual indicator. I use it to map out things a lot.
Go get this pad thing you speak of.
Oh, I keep it on me like at almost all times. It was kind of really hard to make, and I don't want to have to replace it. Also, it has a lot of my data on it. But yeah, no, here, and he'll go into his backpack and bring out his digipad.
And what is that?
This is my digipad. I made it.
No, this is a digipad. And you see him hold out his palm, and he presses the like soft part of his palm. He says, "This is a digipad." I don't know what that is.
It's alternatively known as a data pad. Also, I'm kind of made of ore. I don't exactly have pads like that.
Okay, it looks such a weird name for something when digipads already exist.
Okay, well, it's also known as a data pad sometimes, but it's mostly known as a digipad. But either way,
This guy looks. Pads belong on arms and limbs, not whatever this is.
well, if it makes you feel better, they're mostly intended to be used with, by using pads as a sort of, I don't know if you'll understand what happened. So you actually tap on it a lot in order to make it do things.
He kind of thinks for a moment as he taps his claw in his chin. I've tapped my pads on many things, and I don't really. Kind of thinks to himself. That is how we use things. We use all, and he kind of like holds out, almost like he's talking. Like, yes, we use all pads to touch things. That's called grabbing.
Okay, well, do you just want me to show you how it's worked? I'd actually really like to show you how it works. It's really neat.
Kind of he kind of looks like he's like trying to figure out how to explain to you how like hands work, but he's like he's trying to figure out how to explain to you the concept of hands.
Yeah, no, but Rib is like proffering up his data pad while saying this.
It kind of looks just like this looks very foreign to me. I'm not familiar with this. I'll have to have the others investigate this as well.
I will happily show all of you how it works.
The guy says, of course, in the last question is, how did you find out about Naoki being here in the first place? Because if you need to see the Kamemons are far, far away from here. They are many days to the east.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm gonna note that down because, okay. But second of all, okay, so there was another Kamemon that was friends with him, that, they were keeping in contact with. So I kind of mentioned this before. The Kamemon that we're looking for is named Naoki, but there's a different Kamemon that I know and I'm friends with named Han, who actually also works at the DH. They sort of both left the forest together, but Naoki kind of came back to help investigate the glitch. But okay, so their specific motivations don't matter that much actually. But
you see him kind of look up in thought as he says, "I will have to convey this story with the others."
Okay, but I wasn't done talking.
I think this Gamon has reached his limit.
I haven't even explained how the digipad works and actually show you all the information that I managed to get on Naoki's data signature.
You
wanted to see that, right?
They say, "I will have to have the others convene first. We must make a council." As he kind of nods over to the other three, And if you
Okay,
could,
let me know your. I'm gonna ask you questions about your leadership structure later.
He lives. Go get the other one in the tent. I can't, by respecting the small one, I cannot go in the tent. So please, go fetch your other, so we may question them as well.
I mean, I guess I won't. You can just ask for them to come. Okay, okay. Ribble will just go over to the tent and just go. Haboku, Jace, either of you awake?
Oh, I'm awake, Riv.
Okay, well, the Galman out here also kind of want to talk with you, so do you mind coming out here and talking with them?
Asher said I should probably stay in here. Kind of had something happen, and I'm not really feeling too great.
Oh. Wait, hold on. You aren't feeling great, and Asher just okay. Well, I guess I'll take a look at you too for later, so that way I can pass the data off to him. But okay. He's gonna turn back to the Galban and just go, hey, so one of my friends is still asleep and the other one isn't exactly feeling too well right now. Do you actually have to like talk with them like face to face, or could you just like talk with them a bit, or?
I wait for the other one to get back. We will convene a council of what we've heard so far, but we will need to speak with the mysterious one in there.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm going to ask you questions about your leadership structure later.
You see the other three group up as you are allowed to regroup with Kotora and Fulgur. I will cut to Asher. What is Asher doing by this stream?
Didn't step away for a sec.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't have to go back.
I'm just going to have Riv do the very funny thing initially of just the moment the others come by, just going, I didn't get to explain everything.
Kotora's gonna rub the back of his head.
You see the other three go on. They get in like a really tight circle, and they kind of like a football huddle a little bit as they seem to be murmuring, of occasionally lifting up their head and looking around, and but then going back to talking and murmuring, completely inaudible to you guys, and it's even a mixture of like growls and grunts and even like just a few different sounds, but they seem to be talking amongst themselves.
I wonder how Fulgur feels about Riv basically pouting that he wasn't done talking with them and they left.
Fulgur just looks tired.
Kotora is just rubbing the back of his head and wondering whether he should tell Riv that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, bro. You can tell me the rest if you'd like.
No, I'm gonna wait a bit because they said they wanted to get the rest of them together in order to figure out how my digipad works, and so I need to know how much I'm gonna get to tell them later, so that way I don't, because I might be able to keep talking to them later, and then also because they're having the whole council thing. I know they have a council now. I can ask them about their leadership structure.
Sounds good to me.
Sorry about that. I am back.
Sounds good to me. Talk to them all you like.
Does Fulgur say anything to Kotora and Riv?
Fulgur looks like he's about to fall back asleep.
The funny thing is, I think this was supposed to be Fulgur and Haboku's watch, and neither of them are up for it.
Yeah, depending on when during Asher's and Kotora's watch the Galmon showed up, we could have been nearing Fulgur's and Haboku's watch by that point.
Yep, it was about halfway through.
Yeah. Okay, so on to Asher, I suppose.
Yep, Asher, you're going over by the stream. It's just a little quarter mile. It's not too much of a walk. It's stuff, the twigs and branches and stuff, a little bit to navigate. But
I mean,
outside of that,
I can walk a quarter mile in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really close by.
If that.
It's yeah. So as you're going there, they seem to just they don't talk to you in any way. They seem defensive around you, but they aren't making any aggression. They seem to just be trailing you.
He's just gonna go over, get some water in his water skin, and head back.
Kind of look. You can see as you bring out your water skin and like start filling it at the stream. You see them kind of hear them murmuring a little bit. You don't pay much attention, but they murmur, and you may hear one of them say like "evil canister," but that's about it. It must be soul capturing device.
Oh no, if I wanted to capture your soul, I would just put it in here. And he taps on his ring.
Evil ring.
Oh
Technically,
boy.
no. Technically, no. That's a holy ring. Also, good lord, these Galmon are children. I mean, yeah, they are children. They're rookie rank.
No, not evil. Well, I'm evil, but the ring is holy.
Clearly collared by a divine to make sure your evil's in check.
Well, no, I am the divine. God of death and all that.
How does one be
Typical
holy and
accent.
evil?
By being me.
Evil holiness.
Would you like me to smite you to prove it?
We'll convene with the others.
It's just like that one attack from Final Fantasy Tactics from the demons that is Dark Holy. Literally called Dark Holy.
The Dark Holy. Exactly. It's like, wait, holy isn't supposed to be evil?
But either way, he's, making his way back, gonna go into the tent, make sure the flaps closed after him.
As you get back to the camp, you just see, as you get back to the camp, you see everyone else has already convened. You see Folger, Viv, and Kotora in a kind of a togetherness, whereas the other three are in a very concrete huddle.
And Asher's just gonna kind of ignore all of that and go in.
How's Haboku looking right now?
Like he's a Depop. That more or less.
Here, Haboku, I got you some fresh water. It should help.
Hey, thank you.
You okay with me doing a quick scan? You seem to have calmed down.
Sure. Maybe you'll find something different, I think.
That's what I'm hoping. Or at least, something different that's good, anyways.
Well, the DeFi refag. And you can add, on this specific one, you can add your medicine roll to this one.
Okay.
Or medicine dice to this.
Wow.
Oh. Ouchie.
Wow.
Immediate willpower. Oof. Ouchie.
The 15 dice.
Oh my god.
I don't even know the odds of getting one success out of 15 dice.
I miss.
It's like -2 standard deviation.
Thank you, Rigid.
Thanks, Ryan.
Can I use it?
Don't
Yes.
take
Yes.
Go ahead.
any of my stuff.
Just hopefully.
Gee.
Yay! It's one better.
Oh my god, what the heck are these rolls?
Ren, and was in VC with him today.
Oh, yeah, that makes. Yep, that's it.
You forgot the bull.
Even four is so bad.
Okay.
Okay, Ryan, come on.
Okay, now it's been vaporized.
Fun fact: the average on this is like a 7.
Okay,
There we
Hey.
go.
Much better.
There we go.
And just because, fuck it, soling those ones. No, that would be 16.
16.
Okay, Poku. This is like max level. This is max level roll. So you can describe if you want to describe yourself, what they're kind of seeing and everything, and how that is envisioning.
Well, yeah, a lot out of Haboku, so yeah, you can tell that a lot of a bit of more of his body feels a bit alive, but at the same time, still mostly dead. And a bit of his soul has been revealed. You can tell that it's actively his soul seems to be actively forcing itself to stay in his body.
Whoa.
But you also can, and since it's a little bit of Haboku, who some areas that had been once as can be described as cold or a lot of necrotic energy. There's a little bit of fire returning to it, if that makes any sense.
It's like the complex weaves of the data that is supposed to be there is unraveling, but not in a sense of chaos or in a sense of destruction. It's unraveling in a way as if to rebuild into something that once was, though at the moment it is still incomplete. The data itself is trying to find a way to make those connections again, almost like a familiarity to it, but it is lacking the full potential of making those connections with each other. So it is like it's there, but it is directionless in a way. But some of the strands that form are starting to find that direction again. It's like seeing someone make the first path on a multi-forked road. It is not at the end, but it is at the beginning, and it is slowly getting in the right direction.
So it's not unraveling, it's actually raveling.
Asher. Asher is going to take the data from the glitch-resistant herbs that he collected. Well, somebody else collected and he just kind of, took.
Yeah, medical-related things to the medic.
He's going to take that and kind of try to gently sort of offer that data into what is going on inside of Haboku.
As you do that, you see what looks to be some strands that were distant. It is so round in a way that it is hard to manipulate it. But as you are doing this, using what you have learned so far, you are able to make some connections. It's kind of like you have a path that you see needs to be gone down, and you're kind of like laying a string along that path so it can find that guidance of where it needs to go. but it is not fully there. But you feel like you're beginning to help it to the best of your ability, as it is still not, as the data itself is still pretty foreign, but after you've been investigating a little bit, you're getting more comfortable with it. It is laying it down on the right path, and you do feel like you're making progress into helping Haboku repair what is inside them, but at the moment it is more so laying the groundwork where those connections are starting to form in the right direction.
Nice.
You feel satisfied with your work in a way, Asher. You do feel a bit of personal satisfaction in what you were able to do.
Good, good. He'll go ahead and release the whole scan on Haboku and just ask Haboku, how you feeling?
It's weird. Like, I don't think I was able to think this clearly for a long time. And now that I can, it's just a lot to process, I guess.
That's fair,
There's
that's
still
fair.
some things I don't quite remember, but I feel a lot more certain that I am from Peak's Refuge, at least. That was also where I died. I remember there being a fight where I didn't want to lose, and I still did. And when you notice when he says that he looks very much depressed by that.
Asher is gonna go on over and give Haboku a little bit of a hug. Well,
Haboku will lean into it.
you were able to walk away from it, so or at least you're still here, at the least. So that just means you've got room to do it better next time. And this time you've got friends.
You see his tail wag a bit as he smiles a bit. Yeah. Thank you.
He nods. And for now, I'll only blast anybody that's not part of our group if they come in. And he's going to go back out and take up stance in front of the tent again.
Kodo, give me a perception check as well.
Oh. Body instinct perception.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I am willing that.
You're matching Riv's energy.
Rib is too busy thinking about what he's going to be telling them.
Yes, I can solve those 2 ones. Dang it. I won again.
Same result. Same result.
You're matching Riv's energy.
Dude.
Think
He was
of this
keeping an eye on
before.
Riv.
Riv's keeping an eye on Koto, Koto's keeping an eye on Riv, and they're not keeping an eye of anything else in their
No,
surroundings.
like I said, Riv is busy thinking about what he's going to be telling the Galmon and how to explain a digipad from the ground up.
Meanwhile,
Then
the
there's
Galman's
this-
trying to think of how to describe paw pads to Riv.
There's just a sleepy Fulgur, I imagine, just maybe looking around, and
As you're looking around, Volger, is kind of in a sleepy state, but you still have enough awareness to look around. In the forest, a little bit past all of you, back from where the Galmon originally were, you see what looks to be yellow eyes similar to the Galmon, but it is much, much more concentrated in the sense that it is very piercing. It is dangerously piercing as you look in and you kind of lock eye contact with what it is, but it doesn't seem to be making any motions. But there is a clear figure something in the forest, and it is blended in almost in perfectness with the shadow, only the eyes betraying itself in the forest.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but I forgot something.
Mhm.
If it's not too late, I could go ahead and bigger my roll to make it a 3 because there's 2 6s there.
It wouldn't matter in this sense.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought it wouldn't be enough for this. But yeah,
Kotora is just very distracted right now. Then.
Fogger got a 6 on their perception. They are a 7.
They're
Sorry,
locked
very
in.
7. They are
Nice.
locked in. As Fogger, as you were kind of standing around next to Koto and Rev, and these eyes, they don't look malicious in a sense, but they look very, very concentrated with almost a deadly glare.
Question: are they within 60 feet?
No, they are back in the forest about 100, because you guys were about 100 feet away whenever you started, so they're about 80 feet to 90 feet from the encampment where you guys are.
Okay, so not in the dim vision range. Okay.
It's kind of like the edge of that dim vision. You're able to see.
The dim
It's
vision
so-
is 60. I just looked.
Yeah, it's just on a little bit past that, which is why you can see the eyes, but not much else. Though you can tell there is a hulking figure there that is far more massive than all of the other figures around you. It's just like the light itself, or even the shadows, are kind of trying to fall over them in a way. They just seem to be staring at you, as well as the group.
There.
Ogre's just gonna keep an eye on them.
He's not gonna say anything to Riv and Kotora about it.
Oh, say something to Asher. He'll open with judgment.
Please no.
They are within judgment range.
Is that the new fireball? Are they within fireball distance?
To be fair, actually, do you have medium or long range on judgment?
Medium.
Lamau, there, we could go off of judgment or glitch freeze range, because that's also the range on Riv's glitch freeze.
Nice.
Yeah, Fulgur is just now staring into the brush.
Every now and then, Koto, you may kind of follow the eyes of where Focus seems to be looking, but you don't see anything in that direction. They do seem to be kind of looking very much more awake at a certain area. But after some time, Assuming Fulgur just continues to have a staring contest with the eyes in the dark. The rest of the Galemon will have finally determined as they walk over to your group. The three, two of the Galemon are over there by the tent. You notice that one of the Galemon actually is missing, the taller one that you guys were that kind of designated themselves as seemed to be more like the leader type. The tall one doesn't seem to be around at the moment. Though as you look around, you're not really too sure where they would have gone, but considering you're in a forest, it's not hard to guess. But there's only 5 Galemon around you, the 3 that were in the huddle and the 2 that's over by Asher.
Please tell me he's just trying to dig his way into the tent.
I'll get that tent. But they will approach you 3 and say, "We've come to a conclusion that you are not enemies." They look very proud of this decision they've made together.
Kotora looks released and gives a bit of a sigh. Okay, good.
Again, look, we still have mistrust with the marked ones.
Okay, I do understand why that is. The forest garden is awful, and their markings are basically his markings. But you gotta understand, Jace is a deserter of that dude. He hates them with his life. And Asher is basically Asher is his child who he took from the forest garden as a kid. They're not they are not related to them anymore in any way.
Okay, look thoughtfully. I can imagine that anyone able to escape the grasp and claws of that would never want to see it again. The evilness from within their blackened heart is far greater than anything in this forest could produce. They were once revered, loved by the forest, keeping us protected, but that was long, long ago. And then they had their own forest determination. We're lucky that they kind of seem to look off into the forest in a little direction, in the same direction that Fulgur was looking, though they don't make any specific notions or nods to it. We've been lucky enough to have our own territory that the Guardian does not interfere with. He fears us. It kind of looks, he fears all of us, and enough to make sure that we keep our territories separated. They have the entire forest, and we have our zone.
I see. Well, Jace definitely. If Jace could help, he would definitely wouldn't want to see that the face of the garden again. We pretty much been trying to avoid getting spotted by their actual followers. We were unfortunately we've also found quite a few things wrong with this forest on the way that we just ended up helping people out. So we're not we haven't been as inconspicuous as we would have liked.
Yes. We have not heard word of you entering the forest, though the Guardian would not obviously tell us of your intrusion into the forest. Well, entry into the forest, I should say. So the Guardian would not be privying us to those informations. So I can see why others may know you, but we do not.
Well, when we came to the forest kind of actually encroached upon us. We were a few days ago. We were kind of camping out at the edge of the forest, and when we woke up, there was a bunch of trees around us. Apparently, one particular tree has just sort of been replicating itself with the nutrients from some Palmer and Woodman that we end up rescuing.
I kind of nod. Yes, we are very much aware of the Forest Guardian trying to expand their influence by any means necessary. We ourselves have been happy and content having our territory. We've only had to gain new territory ever since the anomalies have taken over our own original territory. We used to live closer by the Grand Tree, but we've been forced slowly further and further out.
So there is a glitch in the Grand Tree. That's what we were sent out to investigate.
It kind of looks, yes, and they kind of look. We have been. They kind of look. They seem a little bit kind of confused, but as they kind of look to each other, we have been trying to find a way to get the anomalies under control so that we can return to our original territory. We are, unlike the Guardian, not interested in expanding our territory into other peoples, especially the Guardians.
So so the unnatural expansion of the forest is the Guardians doing.
That's what they believe to be.
You guys are not entirely sure. I was kind of speculating, but something that Palmer told me kind of made me think that it might be something out of the Guardian's control, and I don't know.
Kind of look. They kind of look and said, "We need to speak with our." Well, they kind of look around.
Your leader?
In order before we tell you things, as they see, after a little bit of time, the taller of the Galmon emerges from the bushes where they were, as where Fogger and them were looking at. Though Fogger, you can tell that the eyes of the Galmon are not the same eyes that was in the bushes, but they do seem to be coming from the same direction of where those eyes were.
Have the eyes moved?
You kind of have to readjust to where to find it again, but you do lock eyes once again, and you can tell that it is still out there.
He'll just keep an eye on its position.
You kind of see as they get closer, the taller Galmon of the rest of them, they say, yes, I as the leader have determined that any kind of holds a claw over the rest of you guys, have determined that you don't mean harm, especially if what you're saying is true regarding the town you came from in Kenzo, as well as Kino and the Golden Claw themselves. After much deliberation and meditation in the forest, I have made these determinations on my own.
Weren't you there for like a couple of minutes?
Our leader takes such a small time in meditation, as in order for us to act, we have to act swiftly. You see him as he kind of turns his muzzle up a little bit, looking very proud.
I don't think thinking about things only a little bit is exactly a thing to be proud of.
Kotora is just looking at Rib with a are this guy for real expression.
You guys don't see any of those that focusing. You just see him him pop out of the forest and then just feel very confident all of a sudden.
Which is why Rib is just like, what are you talking about, effectively?
And Kotora is just dumbfounded.
Kind of looks over as they get close. He says, "We've determined to help you in your task, as you seem like you might be able to help with the anomalies."
Well, we'll certainly try to. Even if we can't, we can bring more information back to Kenzo and get people who probably can, if we can.
Yeah, that is our mission after all. Both rescuing Naoki and investigating the anomaly. To which.
And before I divulge anything else, I want you to swear that You're here to help the forest and not to endanger it.
Of course we are here. Of course we don't want to endanger the forest. Listen, you did ask me why I would want to come here. None of us exactly wanted to come here, but it is our job, so it is basically our duty to perform. Just like it's you guys' duty to protect your territory.
And after meditating in the forest, I've determined to tell you guys what we know. They kind of look back to the forest a little bit of where they came out of. You don't really see much motion, but you swear the eyes begin to nod a little bit, Folger, but outside of that, they don't seem to be moving anything else. It says, so I've determined to help you guys in your task. We are actually familiar with this Naoki you mentioned.
Oh, really?
Yes, the only reason that they have not been taken by the Guardian and their evil minions have been because they have been in our territory. That is why we could not allow you to go north in the territory.
So he's safe. That's good to know.
Yeah, that's really good to know, actually.
Is he? How is his physical condition?
He is paranoid. Being in the forest the way it is, he looks over, he kind of does a gesture around the forest. Everything is at risk for him, and with our territory constantly being encroached on by, well, the Anomaly, we've had to constantly move. And if the Guardian finds out about any of his research, then they would be certainly pursuant to stop them immediately, as they seek to make sure the forest does not expand, considered a conflict of interest. And him being, they kind of like gesture like to the ground a little bit, so small and helpless and without claws or pads or really teeth or really anything to protect themselves in this forest.
It's probably best if you don't refer to people as being helpless. That's not exactly the best thing to call someone.
I mean, he was brave. I mean, he was brave enough to come here by himself. That's got to count for something. And if he reached all the way here by himself, then I mean,
yes, he's been here since some time. He entered into our new territory by mistake, but after mentioning that he was able to, study the anomalies that were happening, he was able to come to a few conclusions that's been helping. Though the Guardian's minions, as he kind of gestures once again, have been catching wind that we may be having things in our territory that are not just us, but we've been able to keep them protected for now. But with the forest being more bold and bees and the waspon seem to be more active, we are afraid that they might be trying to make a move soon to take him out.
Oh,
That's
no.
why we've had to move them.
Thanks for protecting him, though.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
may be the only one that can help us figure out these anomalies so we can return our forest back to where it needs to be and our territory back to where it belongs.
If us helping us solve whatever is causing the glitch, it will help the forest, then all the better. This is our job, after all.
You see him. You see him get a little bit closer as they kind of cut you off before you continue. Say, but I want you to know before you say anything, we have tried to introduce people to him before. They point over to you you, Riv. They say, this one mentioned the Wigiri. Them and another scaled one came by to see what was going on in the forest, and we let them see Naoki. And one time they were fine, but only just about 3 days after they left Naoki started to have problems.
Oh?
Oh, no.
What kind of problems?
He was connecting with this other Kamemon, someplace where we think you guys were from.
Yeah, their name is Han, by the way.
Han, yes. Kind of looks up to the sky. Han. He sounded like a Han.
What does that mean? Just move on.
Anyways, so speaking of this Han, he was considered close to our friend Naoki. But after that data was stolen from him, he wasn't able to contact Han anymore. He says he wasn't able to contact anyone, as that one Digimon must have had his data mixed in with his own.
Oh no. So that's why. So that's why. So that's why it all went silent.
So
Go ahead.
this
Yeah, I didn't really bring this up
conversation, this conversation is happening away from Asher, right?
Honestly, probably close
No.
enough distance to where the others... Honestly, you'd probably be able to kind of hear other than the whispers. But in the most general sense, you probably would be able to pick it up on.
I'm about to say we were like right next to the tent almost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't think it wasn't happening like far away. No.
They don't seem to
Gotcha.
include you in the conversation, but if you were to attentively listen, you would be able to hear it.
Yeah, we're like only a little bit away from the tent.
Yeah.
But did Astro want to do something or say something?
No, I was just checking.
He said, Naoki has not been able to contact anyone ever since part of him was stolen.
That makes sense.
He says he got through to someone, though it was only a few weeks ago. But he said he was able to contact someone.
Yeah,
but
that
I'm
was
entirely
me.
sure how.
Wait, you have a contact? What do you mean you were contacted by Naoki?
Wasn't that the person that sent the distress message?
Yeah, that was the one. That's the one that's been sending them the messages on the Valve Dog.
Yeah, but Riv never got told the neighbor anything.
Ah.
Yeah.
All he knows is that you got a message from someone from a very distant location, and that was it.
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
Rib was panicking.
Yes, that's who sent me those messages.
Kind of looks. They said that Rigiri was destroyed. Maybe the data returned to Naoki.
I mean, unfortunately, we needed to give back the data that Rigiri stole from them manually. So I don't think Naoki got his data back like by itself. But
I could do it.
Asher might have it.
Wait, then how would your pad have connected? That doesn't. You got the message on your digipad. Unless you're talking about a different. Did you get a different message?
Above the table, whenever Asher got the data of Rigiri, it also included the data of Naoki mixed in with that, and that is how the connection between the pads were able to connect.
Oh,
But
yeah,
that's not
but
something
Riv
any
is-
of us would know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be,
also Riv is questioning it because it showed up
Yeah.
on the pad, not like a signal that he was
it only
feeling.
showed up on Asher's Valve Dock, because Asher
Yeah.
was always holding the Valve Dock and it was so close to them all the time.
Well, yeah, he was. It's just that Riv isn't connecting this because it's like he got a message on the Valve dock but didn't display anything himself or feel anything himself. Like from what he could tell from like it happening to Asher, so he's confused about this because to him that doesn't make sense.
that is fair.
That's fair.
Because why would the person themselves not feel anything, especially someone as attuned to data as Asher, but it show up on the digipad?
It has something to do with similar to what you had with Han, and that thing you mentioned before.
That's interesting, honestly.
But it is interesting that apparently it connected with his digipad, and I don't. It's just to Riv. That's like
Riv's
non
mind.
sequitur.
Riv's
And
mind
Riv's
is just
mind, like
being-
there is a very important bridge missing somewhere here, and he is not able to pierce where that missing link is, and he's just like, how the hell did it appear there then?
You just see Riv with
Maybe.
very visible confusion across their muzzle.
I mean, maybe since Asher himself wasn't actively trying to use the data, the data just went to the next available thing, which I guess will be his.
But that implies that his digipad is taking in ambient data and storing it.
I wouldn't be surprised about that.
They are literally all about data manipulation.
Well, yeah, no, but that's a piece of technology, not... If someone told him that Asher was ambiently taking in data, he would shrug and go, yeah, sure. But this is just a piece of technology he carries around.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, yeah. But we also haven't seen any signs of it doing anything else, so...
Yeah.
If it is actively doing other things, this would be the first occurrence of it.
Yeah.
So also, Riv would not just be assuming, oh, his data pad is doing something weird. Because this was the first time it's ever done this. At least as far as he's aware.
Asher never disclosed where they got their valve dock.
No, but also a piece of technology being carried around like that ambiently absorbs data would likely be something that far more people would be interested in.
Riv has unlocked a new fear.
No, I'm saying because you yourself have told me multiple times that there's people who can literally like see data and data transfers and all that. Asher going anywhere near them would basically be the equivalent of like a miniature black hole showing up in their sight. If the data pad was, if his valve dock was doing that.
That sounds hilarious.
I'm okay with this canon.
I have tried my best to incorporate this valve dock in the most interesting ways possible.
Fair.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm not disparaging it. I'm just going like, here's the list of information we have, and why Riv would just be like, what the fuck are you talking
Riv is going to ask to examine Asher's datapad after this.
Yes, he is.
And Asher will refuse.
You can see the tension growing.
Oh, don't make Riv sad.
What about Asher being sad?
I'm saying I don't think Asher cares about making Riv sad.
Oh, I know.
Riv is like, Asher's digipad is a lot more than what it seems to be.
Asher's valve dock is very special to him and very important.
Oh, I know.
It has some... I have included it, and it took me this long just to reveal that the datapad connection between them and Naoki was from Magiri.
Stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
I have waited on this knowledge for so long.
Nice. I like that.
I have waited so long to reveal that Magiri's data is why Asher, and only Asher, has gotten the distress signal.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's been a very, very long time.
So
Dude, I would have guessed this forever ago if Asher got it and not Asher's data pad.
Yeah.
Like, if it would have been Asher that got it, I would have been like, oh, wait, yeah, no, Regiri data. But the data pad with no...
The valve dock.
The mysterious
they mention, they do mention that Naoki seemed to finally make a connection with someone, though it only ever seemed to be one person that only ever connected with them. So they were saying that they hoped someone would come by, but they weren't able to fully get a good description.
Hello?
Hello? Hello.
Oh,
okay.
I see. Did the stream collapse for a moment? Oh.
My internet apparently did for a moment, yeah.
Oof.
Whip. Oh yeah, basically they mentioned how Naoki has only ever made the connection with one person so far, and no one else has been able to answer their distress signal, despite sending that distress signal as least once a day to anyone who would receive it. But whenever they got a connection with someone, they mentioned that someone was coming, but without a good description of, well, everyone, they weren't able to figure out who exactly would show up, just that someone would. with Asher being one of the markings, they weren't expecting Asher to be the one that was receiving the signal of any people.
If only we had gotten a better explanation of this, we wouldn't have been panicking so much. Oh well.
You have to understand, the last person we allowed around Naoki was able to make the entire research completely, well, on his head for many, many weeks. It caused so many problems between them.
Who was the last person that saw Naoki?
Okay, you hear a growl coming from all of them in a very, not directed at you, but that's Ragiri that you mentioned.
Ugh.
Yeah, he could kind of steal people's data.
Yep, and now I've got it here in the ring.
Well, technically you don't anymore, but...
No, Asher separated out Ragiri's from everybody else's.
No,
I think
you
you gave Ragiri's data to Mir.
Mir.
Yeah, you
He gave Ragiri's, but not hers.
Yeah, Naoki's fine. Naoki
Oh,
is
okay.
still in there. Yeah, Naoki is fine.
Oh, you're talking about
Naoki's
that,
data
fair
is
enough.
still in there. You didn't reckon, like, especially Asher, like, as you're kind of going through, you still had some other people's data from outside, even even though you took a bunch of data from Ragiri, there was data that was not in town that you still have a hold of, that you have no idea who or where anything it goes to.
Yeah, I've got it listed on my sheet as miscellaneous cameraman data.
Yep, and one of those is you would have to see Naoki to be able to recognize, the data, but you do have their data within your ring.
Yeah,
also,
we know
Riv can also recognize it if he gets to see the data.
Yeah, because it's the digital signature. Yep,
well,
they mention they go ahead, Kotora.
Yeah. Well, thankfully the Ragiri is no more. He won't bother Naoki or anybody else anymore.
Yes, and we can, and after they gesture towards the forest a little bit north. I'm more than aware that we interrupted what would be a slumberful night, and they kind of look around. We've mostly nocturnal ourselves, so we were doing patrols around here. Well, we've kind of followed you for the past while now, but ourselves, and they kind of point around, one of them kind of looking to the forest, but the others don't. We'll make sure to watch over your camp if you'd like to finish your sleep, and we can take you to Naoki in the morning.
I don't think Asher is going to be comfortable with that. I think we'll just finish our watches.
Kind of nod in agreement. Is that what you wish, Asher, the evil one?
He just gives a bit of a sniff and goes into his tent.
Somebody's actually calling him evil, and now he's pouting about it. I see.
The irony. It looks like he needs his rest to contemplate things. Maybe about that goodness in him that you guys are trying to evoke.
Kotora is gonna go towards the tent. And Kotora is going to proceed I guess
Rattle the outside.
Yeah, rattle the outside a little. He's not gonna knock on the tent. He doesn't want to make it fall down.
Yeah, knocking on a tent is you kind of jiggle the flap,
Yeah. Hey Asher, may I come in?
If you want to talk, we'll go elsewhere. I don't want to disturb Jace.
Okay, we can do that. Because I do want to talk.
He will sigh and leave the tent.
Hi, Kotora.
Hey, Haboku. Are you all right? You haven't left the tent this entire time. We've kind of been dealing with a situation.
No, sorry. I wasn't feeling too great. I'm still processing some stuff right now.
Oh, okay. Well, will you be all right then?
I'll be fine.
Okay. Well, if you do need anything, you can call for Rib or Fulgur.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Okay, Azure. We can go wherever you want.
He's going to step out of the tent before looking at Haboku, though. Again, if anyone other than one of us, our group, comes in, blast them. And then he will head out of the tent to, he's giving a glare at the Gaumon, but otherwise just walking away from the campways. Being very
behind.
alert for anybody else that might be listening or watching.
You don't notice anyone as you go into the forest, though the Galmon do glare at you on the way back, as you make your way back to the forest.
Is this far enough?
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to hear us here.
Okay. So I do want to ask you, what's on your mind at the moment?
He sighs. Just same old, same old. Different people, same response.
Kotora is going to nod slowly. I see. Is this a treatment or similar that you and that you and Jace have gotten wherever you guys go?
Well, that's a different thing.
Oh?
But not that different from what we've experienced before, no.
The forest guardian and his influence must be much more infamous than I realized.
Well, no, that response is just for here. That specific kind. Outside of here, it's an entirely different thing altogether.
Oh, then, what is it then, or what was it?
Suspicion, hatred. They don't normally call evil because, well, they're not familiar with the Fourth Guardian. Most people don't like outsiders.
Kotora rubs the back of his head. I see. You and Jace has had a rough partly for being outsiders and partly because of the Guardian's influence. That's it's pretty much been a burden for you guys, for both of your guys' life. It's no wonder even you has a grudge against him, even though you never met him.
Oh, I don't really care that much about him.
Oh,
It's more all of them.
all of them? You mean the Gaumon or just people in general?
The Galmon, people in general. Doesn't matter who. Always the same response.
Kotora puts a bit of a pound on his chin, as if he's trying to think. Hmm. Hmm.
This life, the last one, really doesn't make a difference.
This life, the last one. Wait, Asher, do you have memories of your previous life?
I didn't exactly just make up the whole God of Death thing. I keep telling you all this.
Kotora is going to tilt his head. Then what happened? Whenever Digimon reincarnate, we don't usually have memories of our previous life. How?
I don't know the details. I don't remember that much. I just know I didn't exactly reincarnate like other Digimon did.
I see. That is so bizarre.
Well, things tend to happen beyond mortal understanding with gods.
Well, if you were a god in your previous life, I don't think you are right now. I don't think you are one right now.
Asher's expression goes very flat at that.
I was just thinking he has a move called Judgment, and then it's a beam of light striking someone.
Yeah, he literally smited somebody from the heavens themselves, but, sure.
Only
That's nothing. That's nothing. The angel Digimon can do that, so
the light attack. The light.
But either way, definitely giving off vibes that he does not approve of that statement.
okay. Now, I'm sorry. That was uncalled for of me. It's just that, well, you're definitely in a diminished state. Is what I'm trying to say.
I definitely would agree there.
Hmm. So is this distrust something that you have been dealing with this life and in your previous one? It's something that wherever you go is just the same old, same old.
Nobody likes death. It comes for everyone, but no one likes it.
Ultra is going to look a bit sad at that.
People hate it.
Hmm.
They fear it. They try to avoid it any way they can. This life, last one. Well, I really shouldn't call it the last one because it wasn't. It's still the same life.
Hmm.
No one likes death. They look at death as evil. They try to avoid it however they can. They try
Kotora is
to
going to
avoid me.
Kotora is going to look a bit sad. Hmm. You know, I suppose you are kind of right in that regard. I don't exactly have a high opinion of the concept of death. I will be honest, but it's a bit of a personal thing for me. After all, like I said before, even if death does come for everyone, even if us Digimon even if of Digimon, death is just the beginning of a new life. Those that are left behind are left wanting.
And you know who they blame?
They blame you, right?
He nods.
Kotora nods at that.
So, no, I don't have a high opinion of anyone. It's just the same thing I face everywhere I go.
Hmm.
So might as well embrace what they want. What they see me as.
See,
I've worked miracles in front of you and you don't believe it. You don't believe I'm the god of death by your own words just a moment ago.
I mean, be honest, it is a bit of a hard concept to accept, but at the same time, I suppose I might be starting to actually believe it.
I would make acts of mercy and it would be everybody else that gets praised and all the good stuff. And when
But
I'm actually around, nobody wants anything to do with me.
but then, I mean, when you were helping out the people in what was
Shawshin.
the yeah,
Shoshin.
yeah. When you were helping out the people in Sashen, you mostly try to avoid them. You didn't really want to see their praise. They they more or less you seem like annoyed by it.
Because they
What is
didn't
that about?
believe I'm who I am. If they knew, then that would be a very different situation.
So you don't- so because so you're upset that they wouldn't have praised you if they knew if they actually believed you were death itself.
It's happened before. Go in somewhere, nobody knows who I am, do something good, then somebody recognizes me or believes it, and social pariah. People's hearts are
Kotora is
very, very quick to hate. They are very quick to fear and turn on people.
Kotora is gonna rub the back of his head. Hmm. I suppose I can understand that.
You can gain all the goodwill in the world and lose it in an instant just because of who you are.
Hmm. I suppose so. I mean, I thought the same thing when I saw what Rib was capable of. The moment I realized that I knew that is something that we could never speak of again. Otherwise, people will begin to see him as a pariah. So I can definitely understand what you're saying.
I mean, just these Gaomon. They hated Jace and I just because we look different.
I don't want to keep alluding to their hatred, but it is simply association with the forest god that they hate. Unfortunately, that one is kind of understandable, considering the atrocities that has committed. But at the same time, the way that they first jumped to conclusions when, I mean, you and I were having a, well, I think it was a nice conversation in the end, because you weren't attacking me, and I wasn't attacking you. We were being friendly, if not neutral. They're also kind of dumb. So yeah. What they did was not right. They should at least try to speak before becoming aggressive.
They're not the only ones that do that sort of thing, though. Look at how glitched Digimon are treated.
People are afraid that the glitch will spread to them when it happens.
It's more basic than that. They're just afraid because they're different.
Perhaps that is true to some degree. I could see that. I mean, I suppose I was myself a bit afraid that I would begin to be ostracized if people knew that I ended up getting something inside of me. I was able to hide it pretty well for a while. And I was mostly afraid that I would become a burden to my brother. Asher, I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
I am sorry for not believing for not believing your tale. For not believing that you're the god of death. And we're gonna say something. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. And well, I suppose I'm not 100% convinced, because, well, I suppose at the moment it doesn't really matter, because, I mean, whether you are or not, I do think I like Asher, and I don't think that's going to change regardless.
Maybe, maybe not.
I suppose we'll see. will you give me the chance to let you to will you give me the chance to show it to you?
Asher gives a weak smile. Sir?
Or nuts? And gives a smile in return. You know, even though this forest itself it's evil and bad news, just being around it talking with you for a bit does feel a bit refreshing. Hmm. We should probably head back now. Thankfully, we were able to convince those Gaomons that we can we'll able to help Naoki and well basically continue our mission uninterrupted.
I do hope so.
Yeah, and that's good, right?
He will nod.
Kotora nods in return. Come on, let's go.
Just
What's up?
remember what you've asked for when the end comes.
Kotora tilts his head. Then he just gives a nod.
Many have wanted to be friends, and then their loved one's time came. Don't let yourself be another one of those.
Kotora suddenly freezes for a moment. Ah, I see. Now I get what you're saying. I understand. Don't worry though. I will never I will never let myself be in such a position.
If I had a bite for every time I've heard that. But I can hope that you'll be an exception.
Kotora is going to chuckle at that. And the two of them go back to the camp.
Yep.
And we'll see it just to make sure. Is there any other nighttime interactions that want to happen? Just to finish it off.
If we're going back to doing and watches, then I guess as Fulgur and Haboku need to do theirs unless it's decided to edit against that.
No, you can go ahead. I was just gonna say that no, Kotora wants to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was saying, yeah, you guys are more than free. You guys are, I just want to make sure no one else has, but other than that, I can let Haboku and Fulgur finish it off. Yeah, which one? How do you? I think Folger, you were saying something.
Yeah, I know. Haboku is up, but Folger went back to sleep. So.
Hey, Haboku. Haboku. Go ahead.
Asher will stand watch with Haboku, since Folger's asleep.
Yeah, Rib's going back to sleep. They already said they'd be going with him, so he could do all the things he wanted to do later and actually get sleep.
Yeah. Haboku, you're with Asher if you guys want to have any interaction.
Don't you want to get some rest?
After tonight, I think I'm good to stay up.
Hey, I won.
There you go. 3.
That was a soul empathic insight.
I could lower the difficulty by 1 if you feel you have a greater understanding of Asher's emotions.
Okay, that will make it a 5.
I'd say you get the easier difficulty due to being Asher's minion.
Is something bothering you, Asher? I know this isn't the greatest.
Just revisiting old memories.
I guess we're kind of in the same boat here then.
Yeah, I suppose we are.
Do you want to talk about it? I mean, when I think about it, I don't think I've asked much about your past. Usually I've heard about it from Jace a bit.
Even Jace doesn't know much of these memories. I appreciate the offer, but I think for now I just want to ponder on them for a bit.
Okay. But remember that I'm here. Yeah, thanks again for checking on me and, making sure I was okay after whatever happened.
Well, of course. Gotta make sure my minion's in top shape after all.
Haboku will he'll smile and give his quite a prideful stance ends at that.
Have you ever considered having 3 heads?
Head tilt.
Nothing. But maybe think about it a little bit.
Because it would actually give me more opportunities to eat food, considering I'll think about it more.
It's something for later. Another time.
Yeah.
Which head gets the Pong brain cell?
Well, you see, that's the easy one. It goes left, middle, right, middle, left, middle, right, and the middle one gets the most thoughts, but that doesn't mean that they're good.
Well, if nothing else, Haboku will just sit with Asher and continue keep a good a watch as best he can. By the way, hey,
After
I assume they're doing this outside of the tent unless there's like a big, like a little photo hole in the flap for them to see through.
I mean, you guys are doing. I mean, you guys are doing watch. I imagine you guys are outside of the tent already.
It's really hard to take watch inside of a tent.
I mean, I don't know. Have you had coworkers before?
I just imagine like one eye is just peering out of the tent for hours, just staring into the void.
Yeah, I was just figuring that in the cow mine would have finally saw Haboku for the first time.
Also, I'm pretty sure that I heard Gimund squeak there, which means that I'm pretty sure he thought of Fulgur doing exactly that.
Just the permanent watch. But yeah, Boku, you will see the Gelmon do go up to you, and they do sniff you a few times. As like I said, they saw you originally, so they felt more comfortable with you, but they do a few sniffs of you just to make sure that you are indeed who you were at the beginning.
Asher is keeping very close watch on them.
Because after a few sniffs, they say, they kind of look over you up and down and be like, we didn't get a chance to, well, really introduce ourselves or interrogate you.
Why do you need to interrogate me?
We wanted to make sure the stories lined up with everyone, but this evil one did not let us speak to you.
Does Haboku catch how and edge the tone they have? Well,
I'd say we'd also say keep that empathic role, so you would.
Is there a problem with Asher? He hasn't really done anything wrong to you, as far as I know.
Would you describe him as evil?
That's what he describes himself as. Seems to make him happy. But I think he's really great.
Ah, good. My minion did not use the other G word.
And if you're this evilness's minion, and you think they're great, what kind of tasks do they make you do?
Recant and tent the trap setups. But yeah, more or less as the stuff they've done with Asher, helping get Asher get their supplies to fix Jace's arm and stuff like that.
And what did you say your name was?
Haboku.
And what other names do you go by?
I believe that's the only name I have.
Okay, that's enough. Go. Scat.
Gives a few more sniffs to Haboku. Fine. But just to make sure, I want to see or hear you howl.
There are others sleeping here right now. Scat!
I will have to hear your howl in the morning to make sure your howl is true and honest. You do howl, right?
Of course I do.
Perfect. They'll slink away. They looked a little bit excited when you said yes. You betrayed, their tail betrays them a little bit as they kind of wag it a little bit as they hear that you do indeed howl.
Haboku just looks vaguely curious about that. They weren't giving you guys too much trouble while I was still in the tent, were they?
Not the others, but they were very much, well, like I said, they were being bigots. They were trying to protect the others from me. I did, smite one of them.
But, aren't you the one who's been keeping us all healthy? Eh?
I didn't really care if they believed that or not.
Still, it's not really a nice thing to say.
No, not really. But I'm used to it.
It shouldn't really be something you have to get used to.
Sometimes, unfortunately, you do just have to get used to it.
Haboku looks sad. And he will, return the hug Asher had given him earlier. I hope I'm not among those that made you get used to it then.
So far, no. You've been good. A great minion.
Haboku will smile again. But then he'll add, do let me know of if I do, end up making you feel that way. Okay? I wouldn't want to hurt a good friend.
I suppose I'll let you know then.
Promise? She's giving you puppy eyes.
Asher will pause at that. And then nod. Promise.
That's good. I think even the Lord of Evil only needs some support every now and then, right?
Exactly.
Now they'll just go back to focusing on the watch.
And with that, the night will pass very, very much cleanly. There is not much going on in the night. You go out on the perimeter, you don't notice any new things. Haboku, you pick up on what smells like a new scent that isn't around everything, but you're not really able to trace it very far. But outside of that, it is pretty peaceful. And in the morning, they said they'll take you over to where Naoki is.
All right, noted. And by the way, Haboku did get at the scent of whichever her Galbon had approached them. I assume it was the leader.
Yep, it was the leader one. They will be expecting a howl in the morning. But yeah, that's where we'll call it for now. Jace can wake up after in the morning. They did their shift. There was no danger. They slept. Like, I did my shift. This is part of your shift, not my shift.
I mean, he did do his shift. I wouldn't say it went well, but
He felt confident
Nice.
about his shift.
They saw everything.
I forget which one got the -1. I forget if it was Chase.
It was Riv that got the -1.
Riv got the... But yeah, you guys got really far with story progression.
Yeah.
Nice. Character development. Go ahead.
Riv just kept seeing Jace's tail.
Swift swaft. Yeah, I think it's going to get a lot more interesting very much forward here. Especially next session is going to be very interesting.
Looking forward to it.
You're actually going to meet the contact you've spent like too long finding.
hey, this forest is just has got a lot of stuff going down in it.
I am so glad we got to the wolves though. The Galmon.
I am very excited to see what how Key responds to this episode. I was not planning on that stuff coming out tonight, but well, Kotora kind of pulled it out a bit.
I'm glad I was able to do it. Honestly, I think that scene was very sweet.
Jace falls asleep. Asha goes a new cult. I go to sleep for 5 hours and you've always started a new cult for yourself.
Swear the part.
Exactly right, Jin. You still think Key? You still think Asher's a spoiled brat? But anyways, thank you all so much for joining us today for Data Anomaly Hunter Scar. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, grabbing some merch over at zgfgaming.store, commissioning one of the artists I manage for. Their details are at zgf.art, or just coming by and hanging out. But for now, thank you all so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.